Hello, and welcome back again to the Targeted Individual Experience. Just want to do a recap of my targeting today because they have been, for the past couple of weeks, stepping up the psychological campaign, the psychological warfare, the harassment. Again, you have, women standing against cars looking at my crotch. I guess they must want some or something because they keep staring at my crotch. Don't know why. And then they will run the homosexual script where guys, when they walk towards me, they'll grab their crotch area. And so also today, which was a pretty heavy targeting day, when I went to take my kids to school this morning, and using the super in my in the kids' mother's billing, and she owns an apartment, and I was waiting for parking earlier this morning I should say, and this dude comes outside, and they do this. When they see me, they do this, and then they'll go like this, and that's part of the script that they use. These are all hand signals, and they trigger a thought, all right, or an emotion, and within the TI, those thoughts, those emotions, they're usually negative, and it's been done through brainwashing. Okay, that's why they can do hand signals, and as a TI, you feel a certain way. Normally it's negative, or you're thinking negative thoughts. It's because they have brainwashed you. Okay, and so later, as I went to pick up my son from school, the same thing. Again, using a lot of females to target me more so than male, because I guess I'm a man, and they tell females all this stuff about me, usually negative stuff. So no, they don't want to interact with me unless they try to place a female in my path for me to speak to or talk to. And but I recognize that, and usually when they do that, that means that if you're a male and they put a female in your path for you to talk to, she's going to be your handler. And if you're a female TI who meets a male, he's going to be your handler. So you have to be aware of these things. So anyway, coming back from picking up my son from school, we had to walk over to my daughter's school, which is close to his school. Again, I get to my daughter's school and ring the bell to get into the school, and there's a woman standing there. She sees me. She turns around. She turns. So I guess she didn't, because she didn't want to see what I was going to do back to her, because they know when they target me this heavily that I target them back also. I do the same type of hand signals that they do to me, I do to them, and some of them, they can't handle it. They don't like it. So in order for her not to be affected by what I was going to do, so she turns around and she sticks her finger in her ear. So I was walking up the stairs, and I guess she was looking to see if I was going to look back. And I saw her at the corner of my eye. I didn't really look back, but I saw her at the corner of my eye. And so I stuck my finger in the air going upstairs. And there was a gentleman waiting in front of my daughter's classroom. And he sees me, and he starts coughing. He's like, it's a fake cough that they do. And so get into the classroom, and I knew something was up. Usually, again, when they're trying to send me a subliminal message, they'll get everyone who they know that you're going to interact with, like my daughter's teacher, my son's guidance counselor, because he's the one that usually let the kids out. And the parents that comes to pick up their children. So they'll get all those people involved in my targeting because they want to send me whatever subliminal message. So anyway, so as I was leaving my daughter's school, this guy comes out now. He's in a gray shirt, and he stands in the passageway or the doorway, you know, as I was coming down the stairs, and he stood there, right? And so when I got to the bottom of the stairs, then, you know, he decided that he was going to leave. And at that point, my daughter and my son had already passed him and opened up the door so we can go out. Now my son is holding the door, so this guy comes and he's holding the door, and I'm like, he has it. You know, don't hold the door. He has it. You see him holding the door for me. Why you want to? But again, you know, they use colors, right? So the color gray, which is a neutral color, and you know, they're trying to say, okay, well then they're going to be neutral in this, what have you, and that's a bold-faced lie, because you know they're just trying to make you as the TI confused in terms of what they put into your subconscious to what they believe that you will interpret it as, okay? And, you know, so for me, you know, them using the color gray, I used to work in printing, and gray is a neutral color. So they're trying, well, they're going to be neutral between, you know, I guess the perps out there on the streets, and they're not going to get involved and all, which is BS. This is BS, because they are the ones who are doing this. They are the, and when I say they, I mean the government. For example, again, because they was targeting me and blitzing me so heavy today, they know that I know it's the government, but it's hard for me to prove because we don't have any, as TI, we don't have any concrete evidence. All we have is our experience, and we may have some evidence. Like for me, I have videos with the fire trucks, with the noise campaign, and you know, 1 or 2 perps out there who's been targeting me and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the government, and I do have a video of police officers coming in the gym trying to target me as I was working out. So to me, that's proof. So anyway, you know, so I had got a phone call prior to leaving the house to go pick up my son and my daughter, and I didn't look to see who it was, because I was in the bathroom, and I came out the bathroom, got my phone, and I went out the door. So on my way back home, as I got into the house, I looked to see who was calling me, and it says Washington, D.C. Again, you see, they love to send targets indirect message telling them who is doing this, okay? But, you know, we tell people that, they're like, oh, you know, it could be like a wrong call or some random call. It's not random. They particularly know what they're doing. Whatever subliminal message they were trying to send me today, it was coming from those who are the perpetrators of this program in Washington, D.C., the United States government, whether it be the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Defense, whoever, all right? That's exactly the type of message that they're trying to send me. So I decided to call the number. And when I called the number, it was just a busy tone, right? So the number, let me view detail. I called the number back. This is the number. I don't know if it can make it out properly. Let's see the camera. There you go. That's the number. All right. And I've gotten numbers like this before. Again, you know, I'm very observant, because not also I'm a TI, but I'm trying to expose what's being done to me and done to others. So when they do something like this, because of how they condition our mind, how they condition my mind to be able to try and interpret what it is that they're subliminally trying to say to me, you know, I try my best to see and understand what it is, because I need to expose this, and I need other people to see exactly what's going on. So another part of the targeting today, and again, it's always about them trying to threaten me with taking away my disability, right? Or they do things so that I won't seek help. Like, for example, like I said in a previous video or on my show that my therapist that I used to see, I will no longer be going to him, because over the past 2 years I have been observing this guy, and I have come to the conclusion that this guy has been compromised in terms of he has become part of the psyops against me. And this is a psychiatrist, right? So these people, they take an oath to do no harm, and maybe he figured, well, you know what, since I kind of understand what's being done to me, that he's not causing me any harm by targeting me. But you know, that's the excuse or the notion that they want to give themselves, because they don't want to accept any responsibility and any blame for the damage, psychological damage as well as the physical damage that they have done to us as TIs. Okay, these people are what I call escapists. They don't want to be held accountable. So when they put you through this and they psychologically damage you, and you're damaged for the rest of your life, believe me that. Okay, anyone who has participated in the psychological harassment, torture, the manipulation, the brainwashing of any individual, okay, is guilty of harming you. And this is a permanent psychological damage. For me, I don't talk to people. You know, I may say hi, what have you, to very few people. I can count them in one hand, you know, and you know, I don't talk. The reason why I don't talk to people is because they engage in what I call conversational hypnosis. Okay, and they've been taught to do this to TIs. Also, the police give them information in terms of, if I have a phone call, if I'm on the phone talking to a fellow TI or talking to my brother who is a fellow TI, and we discuss certain things, people in public will carry on the same kind of conversation as they walk by me. Okay, so again, it's the invasion of their privacy. Then on top of that, the remote neural monitoring, because I've been microchipped, and they can read my thoughts and they can send me messages through my thoughts, particularly when I'm sleeping. Okay, some of the technology that they use on me is silent sound spread spectrum to condition me subconsciously when I'm sleeping. Okay, another one is the vibrational acoustic weapon that has damaged my spine. That's the reason why I'm on disability, because I cannot walk very long and I cannot sit upright very long. So I go and I get therapy for that, but I've used up all my visits, so I have to wait again until next year. You know, so I mean, these people cause you psychological, physical damage, and they walk around like if they're not doing you nothing. You know, that's the sick mentality these people have. And because they feel that nothing is going to happen to them, because again, part of what they're doing is psychological, and therefore it's very hard to prove. And being that we as TIs don't have any concrete evidence, any documentation to say, hey, you know, the state is doing this, the government is doing this. You know, because if you look at the history of experimentation within the United States, it's never exposed while the experimentation is going on. It's always a decade later, 2 decades later, what have you. And I don't want to wait that long for this thing to be exposed. That's why I do these videos. That's why I do my show, to expose us. And to let other people out there know that if they're going through something similar, most likely they've been targeted for experimentation, and they're going to be put through a psychological program to silence them, to blackmail them into silence, to threaten them with arrest, to threaten them with being homeless, to, you know, to try to condition their mind so that when these people are done experimenting on them, that the TI will bring him or herself to commit suicide. Okay, and so I mean, these are the tactics, and I've gone through this already. Okay, and I feel like I need to go through this, most of the time, so that people actually understand what's being done. Right. So these tactics, and it tells you here, in the coercive mind control tactics explanation, that the tactic of physical force are applied to such a severe degree that the individual victim capacity to make informed or free choice become inhibited. Yes, it does, because a lot of times I have to question a lot of the decisions that I make, because I'm thinking that, is this me, or have I been conditioned to think that way, to make that decision? Those sort of things, right? And also the fact that I am doing everything possible to block out the subliminal message, to do the opposite, like I said, of what they're trying to tell me, what I'm interpreting in my mind. As long as I'm not hurting anybody or hurting myself, I'm going to do the opposite of whatever it is, whatever subliminal message, and however I interpret it, I'm going to do the exact opposite. So if they want to make me homeless, go ahead. If they want to kill me, go ahead. If they want to put me in jail, go ahead. Because the only way we as TI is going to make these people think long and hard, if they do this to somebody else, is to not go along with the coercive persuasion. You have to understand this. Okay? You have to understand this. So no matter what the consequences or what the outcome, I will not listen to a damn thing that they're trying to send me to subliminal message, or they're trying to put into my mind and trigger with their hand signals. Okay? And that's it. And I know the day is going to come when these people are going to be held accountable. Okay? And I'm going to make sure that I'm alive. If I am alive, they haven't assassinated me or anything like that, because they will go through those type of extreme. Like yesterday, walking my daughter and my son home, there was 4 police officers standing by this ambulance, and as they see me, one of them started doing hand signal. The female police officers turned around and she did this. She looked straight at me and she did this. And this is what another thing that they do, particularly your everyday perp. I'm talking about the people who you see walking in the street as you're walking in the street, parents, people coming from work, going to work, what have you. Because they're trying to silence us, they'll do this. Okay, and that's something that everybody understands. It's like when somebody go, what that means. Okay, so they'll do this, or they'll do this. Okay, or they'll stick their finger in the air, or they'll pinch their nose like this, or they'll go like this, or they'll take their thumb and they'll go like this by their lip. Right? Trying to send you subliminal message that, not to talk about this, or you'll have something happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to work. I'm going to continue to do these videos. I'm going to continue to do my shows. And I'm going to continue to expose every single thing that they do. So like I said, you can kill me, you can make me homeless, you can take away my disability. You're not going to stop me from exposing what you are doing. What you are doing. I'm going to fight you with every inch, every ounce, every fiber of my being. That I promise you.